Good morning and happy Sunday. So, on the question of does Tim Mahoney ever sleep in? The answer is yes, and today it happened. So, that's why I'm so late. I apologize. Also, yesterday, if you saw my post, we were in Chicago because two celebrities from India were in the city for an amazing reason, and we were there for my wife's birthday. And she told me that on her birthday weekend, I'm not going to wake her up at 4:30 in the morning in a hotel. So that's why I took yesterday off. So we got to be in the presence of Puja Swamiji and Sadhvi, which if you've never heard of these people, don't feel badly. Neither had I before T went to India 2 years ago. But to give you an idea, Puja Swamiji and Sadhvi are number one and number two spiritual leaders at an ashram in Rishikesh, India, northern India. And when they go and speak in India, literally thousands of people will show up. Their presence is requested. They're requested to give audience to popes, to presidents of countries, including our own. They both have spoke at the UN on numerous occasions. Puja Swami is considered one of the top spiritual leaders in the world. The royals, you name it. So these two are a big deal. And I mean, this guy at 8 years old received his calling that this was what he was going to do and literally walked into the forest and stood on one leg and meditated for 10 years, living on nothing but goat's milk and studying the Holy Scriptures, the Hindu Scriptures, and was silent, took a vow of silence. I mean, that entire time. I mean, so this guy's like the real deal, right? And the lady's story, she wrote a book from Hollywood to the Himalayas, or the Himalayas, as they would say them. She was a student at Berkeley on her way to get her PhD and was married. Husband wanted to go to India because he wanted a spiritual experience. She decided that she would go because she was a vegetarian and she thought she would like the food, and had no interest in going to India for a spiritual experience, and then got to Mother Ganga, the Ganges River, and got to the Himalayas, and she's the one that had the spiritual experience and never left. The book is cool, and obviously there was only like a dozen of us at this thing, so obviously being around these two was a pretty great experience. Everybody that was there had been to Rishikesh, and there was a lady who sponsored, who brought him there. So, I'm the one feeling like kind of a fish out of water, going, do I deserve to really watch this thing? But their message was great. The message was grace, to live life in grace. They're non-denominational. They're spiritual. They're all about walking through life in a spiritual way. And her message is, find grace in the everyday things. Find grace in a blade of grass. Find grace in watching wind blow through trees. Find grace in watching an animal take care of its offspring. Meaning that stop and just pay attention to the miracles that exist day to day. And when you can find grace in those things, then you'll be able to find your path in life, and what inspires you, and what is it that you want, and what is it that you are excited about, and what is it that truly is meaningful to you. And of course, they believe in meditation in order to do this. Stop, be quiet, and then the answers will come. And for her, finding those answers comes in that moment of space. Remember, meditation isn't necessarily where your mind isn't working, but it's that you're not focusing on a thing. You're focusing on spirituality, you're focusing on gratitude, you're focusing on what is truly important, who you love, what are the feelings that you want to have in the world, what's the meaning that you want to leave the world with. So her message is always one of stop and just pay attention to what's important. And life is happening for you, not to you. For her, She had suffered a significant sexual trauma, and we talk about it in the Tony world about hanging on to your story. And so she started to tell her story to Pujaswami, and he looked at her and said, when are you going to let this go? Are you going to let this go before you die? And she said, well, yeah. And he goes, okay, well, is it going to be the day you die, or is it going to be 2 days before you die? And she goes, well, no, it's going to be before that. And so he just kept asking, and then he finally said, well, then why don't you just let it go now and focus on what's really important? Pujaswami put it like this, and he talked a lot about her book, but he put it like this: live in peace, not in pieces, which was one that I'd never heard. So I thought that was great. Be better, not bitter. So the message is, we can't control what other people do. We can only control our response, and let it go. And the way that they start is to focus on the simple things. First of all, to stop, sit, be quiet, let the answers come. But when you do that, focus on the little things first. Focus on a day like today. Focus on a beautiful day, and stop and just focus on something really tiny and really wonderful, and just realize how wonderful that is, and then go from there. But at the end of the day, I love, it's such an honor to get to be in their presence, of course, but the message is the same. Life is happening for you, not to you. Remember what's important, and focus on those things that are important, and then expand that. And the best way to do that is through meditation. Because when you stop and you really quit the noise, then the answers will truly come. So it was really an honor to get to be there. Like I said, I felt like, not quite worthy, considering everybody else has done all kinds of work in this area, and I haven't. My work is in other areas, but truly a joy to get to be in their presence, and what a special thing. Huge deal for my bride, and I've looked at the book. I'm definitely going to read the entire book, but I encourage you to check it out. From Hollywood to the Himalayas, and they both are all over YouTube and speak a great deal. Sadhvi is a lovely speaker. It's wonderful to listen to her, and it was really an honor. But be at peace, not in pieces. Be better, not bitter. Life is happening for you, not to you. Pretty good advice. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll be back at 4:30 tomorrow morning. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.